Hello, welcome to Tomb Raiders. I'm William, and with me, the injured left arm to Jason Bourne's right arm is my brother Wilson.
I'm dying.
Yes. The problem with this intro is that because Jason Bourne doesn't really have a sidekick.
No, his psyche in this movie dies. Technically,
Is she really his sidekick? Oh well, spoilers alert. This movie is on the record. We've ruined it.
well,
5 seconds.
To be perfectly honest, this happens early in the film.
That's pretty early. Okay, anyway.
So I haven't really spoiled anything, have I?
Okay, so today we're going to review just Jason Bourne,
Yep.
the film, not the man.
Yep.
I thought we'll do something different this time. We're going to go non-spoilers and then spoilers, but I'm going to time it so that the non-spoilers can only last 1 minute, because otherwise we're going to go on forever and ever. Okay?
Okay.
So, what is the film about Wilson? Wait for this clock to get to...
Really?
Yes, I want a whole number. Wait till this clock. What was the film about Wilson? Tell me about it. Nearly there. Starting now.
You put me under the pressure. It's about Jason Bourne finding out about his past.
Brilliant. That is pretty much it. Okay. I feel like the film starts strong, and then it kind of gets progressively longer.
Yeah.
Did you feel that?
Hmm.
I think it started great. All the stuff about him being in the truck, and the sort of the initial set pieces were okay. They were kind of quite close up, and I think that's the best thing about the Bourne series. And then the car chases and whatnot, they just got progressively longer, and I feel they had quite a weak third act.
I think the main problem is there was a lot of quick cutscenes, wasn't there? In the car chase, with shaky cams and whatnot.
Yeah, the shaky cam actually did bother me a little bit, even though you'd think that would be used to that.
True, but
Okay, so should people see this film?
Yes.
I'm going to say no.
Really?
Yeah. Slightly disappointing. So, what conclusion have we reached?
Well, I think we have to give it a rating then, don't we?
Well, don't we do that in the end of this point?
No, we're going to give it right now.
Okay, go on.
We're both going to say the number at the count of...
Wait, I've got to come up with a number.
Oh, for God's sake. Really? Out of 10?
Out of 10? We always do it out of 100 though.
Fine, out of 100.
Why are you changing our numbering system?
Because it's Jason Bourne.
Okay, off you go.
He breaks all the rules.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 65. What?
I said 65.
You said 65?
Yeah.
Okay, I give it 65. That was actually 2 minutes, but that's fine. 65, we're done.
Never can... Fair enough, 65. So that's pass.
Well, how do we keep on coming up with the same number?
What I want to know is, you rank 65, but you wouldn't recommend it.
I feel like...
I like to think of, what is your 50%? What is your 50?
I feel like I've seen a lot of films which are just middling. Like, you can sit down and watch it, but I don't feel afterwards that I really need to see it again.
Right.
Which is probably why I'm giving.
So maybe your ranking isn't actually how good the film is, but how much you want to rewatch it.
But that is it's
not true. There is a distinct difference.
There's a subtle difference, I guess. Anyway, let's go into spoilers. Okay, so why don't you tell me what didn't you like about the movie?
Well, for one thing, I think I was noticing it near the end, but the music in the background was really repetitive. It was always do.
Really?
Yeah.
The music didn't really bother me.
It pulled me out. That's the thing.
Okay. Anything else?
There's probably a few more things, but I can't think of right now.
Okay, well, let me go then. I think Bourne is fine. The motivation sort of makes sense. I guess you'd be peeved, because we were in a world where he's being tortured by flashbacks, and I can understand him really wanting to find out about his past. But do you remember him as being so eager for blood?
No, I don't. Actually.
Like, I always feel like Jason Bourne is a guy who's trying to run away from these people who's trying to chase him, and he's just taking them out because he has to.
Yeah.
In this, he's like, he's an assassin, basically.
Well, no, the only who does he really actively want to kill? Which is the sniper.
Yeah, the sniper.
Tommy Lee Jones.
That's Tommy Lee Jones. Yeah.
That's really it. The sniper is understandable since he did kind of kill the ex-CIA agent in front of him.
True,
and he's also lost his dad to the same guy.
I know what you're saying, but it feels like he's not just killing them. He's going around just taking people out quite viciously.
I guess.
Like that bit where he's running away in the crowd and he hides himself behind a lift, and these two security guards come out. He just takes them out.
Yeah, but technically he was being chased and he had to do something. He did something similar in Identity when he was being chased.
I guess, but my feeling towards those earlier films is that he doesn't really know what he's doing.
Okay.
Because he's lost his memory.
Yeah.
So he's just trying to survive. In this film, he does know he used to be.
Yeah. It does feel a bit darker.
It does feel a bit darker.
Yeah.
I thought Tommy Lee Jones was better. I thought he was really good in this. Alicia Vikander.
All right.
She's okay. What about? Do you think that? I think I enjoyed that part of it where she is in the same agency as Tommy Lee Jones, and they're both trying to catch Jason Bourne, sort of.
Yeah.
But they've all got their own agendas.
Yeah.
I quite enjoyed that aspect of the plot. Okay, what about the action sequences?
There wasn't any sort of that glared out to me.
Okay, I like the ones in the beginning where when they're getting prepared, and then there's the crowd where they're in some sort of desert location.
Oh yeah.
And then they start having a fight club thing.
Yeah.
And people are betting on who's going to win, and the crowd's going, $100 on the sun.
Yeah, the very first one was really just like fuck up.
And then they spend like 2 minutes bigging up the whole thing, and you see the muscular antagonist, and you got Jason Bourne, and he's wrapping his fist in these blood-stained bandages, and then the fight lasts 1 second.
One punch.
Lasts one punch.
It's literally one punch.
Punch him in the face, and he's down.
Yeah.
Like, I enjoyed that bit of it, but the car chase is like, I'm a bit sick of it. It's a bit boring. It's just so long. How many car chases did we have? The motorcycle sequence, I thought was alright.
I guess.
But the bit in Las Vegas, I thought was over the top.
Yeah, actually, that SUV.
Right, go on. I'm hoping you're going to come up with the thing that I want to
How
say.
invulnerable is that thing?
Did you not feel like when he's driving through those cars that you're basically watching Batman?
Yeah.
Did you not feel like?
Yeah, I was watching that. I was thinking, what is this SUV made of? Batman material.
Yeah, it's just
he's just plowing through them like there's
flying
nothing.
through the cars, and it looks like he's just Moses splitting the Red Sea.
Yeah.
They just fly away from the side. Yeah, I thought, hang on, he's got a Batmobile here.
Exactly.
Yeah. I did not enjoy that sequence. It was just so long.
Yeah.
I like the end fight in the sewers. Is it the sewer or the tunnel?
Well, yeah, tunnel.
In the sewer/tunnel. Where it's another close-up fight. I think they're the best ones.
The close-up fights.
Yeah, where of all of the Bourne films, I always remember the fights. Say, where he's just holding a regular household old item,
Yeah.
like a magazine or whatever.
Yeah.
And the other guy's got an army knife.
Mm.
And those are the best
Because
sequences.
Yeah. It's very MacGyver-ish.
I've never seen the guy.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, so in this one, he had like it was a teapot or something.
Kind of. It's just a normal hand pot.
Yeah, like a pot.
Yeah.
And then the other guy had a big knife.
A combat knife. Basically. Yeah.
So I enjoyed that. I felt like the plot is good, but it's long. Because quite early on, you know that, okay, so Jason Bourne, you figure out that, because he's blaming himself for killing all those people. But as it transpires, we get an inkling that he's been manipulated into becoming a secret agent. Okay, so when we see the sequence that his dad dies in, when the car explodes, what did you think that was the first time you saw it?
I just thought it was just the CIA.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I thought it was either the CIA or his dad was actually killing himself to push his son over the edge.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I thought, well, maybe it's that.
I didn't think of that. As soon as I saw it, I was thinking the CIA just blew up to sort of close. What's the word I'm looking for? Tying up loose ends.
Okay, tying up. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that's possible as well. So, but rather early we think if this situation is staged.
Yeah.
Right. So it's just a case of who did it. But then we spend a long time pretending like we don't know or we have no idea. Where it's really obvious from the moment go that either it's the CIA or he's killed himself.
Yeah.
Okay, so I thought, why are we still talking about this?
Well, actually, we saw the scene where that car drives by quite a few times, like 3 or 4 times throughout the movie. After his dad got blown up.
Yeah.
The black car.
Yeah.
And there was also another guy who was just standing there looking at the scene.
Yeah.
Guy. Yeah, I was thinking, this feels like it's been some sort of foreshadowing. He'll have some sign of significant plot.
I thought that black guy might have been the CIA agent.
Yeah, something like that.
You know the one who works on the Tommy Lee Jones?
Yeah.
I thought it might have been him because they had the same sort of build.
But it wasn't, was it?
It wasn't. He was just a
random bystander.
I don't think he's a random guy. I think the director put him in as a sort of red herring.
Maybe. Or maybe it's actually maybe an Easter egg.
Maybe. It's fun. It's long. I think we could lose like half an hour. We can lose one of the car chases.
Well, you could probably cut down bits and bobs like the setup of getting that no longer working the agency, because that sequence was quite long. Where she had A team and B team following this guy.
Yeah.
It could easily just shown it just stopped moving and then move on. We didn't actually need to see the asset just killing them, did we?
Yeah, it could do with a lot of edits. I was surprised actually because I know that some people like the film because I listened to like a film review podcast and it was hinted that one of the presenters really liked it. So I went in with
high hopes.
That film podcast hasn't reviewed it yet. They just kind of hinted at we've seen it. It's good. Well, one of them's seen it and it's good. So I was surprised that I'm like, what's happening here? And actually, if you look at the Wikipedia entry,
it's been around about 7 out of 10 or something.
No, it's much lower.
Really?
Yeah, Rotten Tomatoes is 50%
I think that's a bit harsh. 50 odd is a bit harsh.
Well, 5.8, 54, yeah.
I like to think that I think the movie had quite a few good moments. I feel though.
Yeah, but I feel like we've seen a lot of these sort of okay. I mean, we've not done a podcast for a long time, and then during that time, we said we were going to do X-Men, but after watching it, we were like, I can't really be bothered. It's just alright. It's an okay film. It's not particularly good.
Not
It's
particularly.
not.
But even the reviews on those were quite harsh on X-Men.
It's fine. You can watch it, but you don't need to see it in the cinema.
Yeah. What else have we seen lately?
I finished that Killing Joke.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
How was it? Oh, what? Don't tell me. I still need to see it.
Well, I can tell you what I feel about it without spoiling it. I read the comic, right?
Yeah.
I've actually read that comic.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like there are bits of it that it doesn't quite translate.
Really?
Yeah.
Because to what I've heard is, apart from the first half an hour-ish, because of the extra new scenes,
Yeah.
everything else about that film is perfect. That is the general.
No, it's a perfect translation of the comic book.
Mm-hmm.
But what I'm saying is that comic book can't just be directly translated on the screen.
Okay.
That comic book, there's a lot in it where there's a lot of people talking about their philosophies,
Mm-hmm.
etc.
Mm-hmm.
And that film is okay, but it's a bit long-winded.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it works. I think that comic book is a product of its time.
Okay.
I don't think it's really applicable here. And because I think it's an R, isn't it?
Yes.
Killing Joke, right?
Yes.
And it's an R, but because the voice actors are the same ones from the animated series,
yeah.
it sounds a bit odd. Like Kevin Conroy, you do think of him as Batman, but you think of him as
the animated series.
more kid-friendly Batman, right? And
really? I don't think of him like that. I just think of him as just Batman as Batman.
I do. I'm on the edge of my seat because there's quite a lot of swearing in this by other characters.
Right.
And I'm thinking, well, is he going to do it? And he doesn't do it in the whole film.
Okay.
Yeah, so anyway, it's fine,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't like it or I don't loathe it. It's just fine. It's not as good as the other ones.
Okay.
It's not as good as the other ones.
Anyway, we've sidetracked.
Okay, we have.
By significant amounts.
So, I've not seen like a good film for ages.
Well, you saw Civil War.
That was ages ago. There's not been a good. Well, I'm sort of looking forward to Suicide Squad.
Yes, I am also looking forward to Suicide Squad. The early consensus says it seems like a good film.
That's what they said about Batman and Superman. That's not good.
Yeah, it was
fine.
alright.
It was fine.
It was an alright film.
Exactly. That's it. It was just fine.
Jason Bourne is definitely better than Batman v Superman.
You see, I can't remember which film it was where I had this a similar feeling whereby I think Jason Bourne. You're right. Jason Bourne is a better movie than Batman v Superman.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd rather watch Batman v Superman just because of those characters.
Okay.
So, I know what this is. This is very on topic. This is Pokemon Go to Ingress.
Oh, for God's sake.
So they're the same game, but because they're Pokemons there,
fair enough.
You're kind of more attracted to it.
Yeah,
it's
fair
the same,
enough.
It's just branding. That's all it is. Branding.
Well, yeah, pretty much. It's kind of like that whole iPhone thing. No, the iBeat, sorry. Which was previously something else, which was then previously something else. We didn't sell well until iPhone basically rebranded it as part of their stuff.
And then it's the best thing ever.
Yeah.
It's just branding.
Yep.
Do you want to see another Jason Bourne film?
I wouldn't mind it, I don't think, but I think... Well, would you say this film ended well? Was it a good conclusion?
I feel like this film doesn't need to exist. I feel like they can do another one, but they don't have to do another one. I don't really have any feelings towards it.
Okay, what about, do you think it stands alone by itself? If we haven't... No. Really?
You don't watch the previous breed.
Nothing makes sense.
It makes sense, but it's kind of... I don't think it really works. Well, What's her face? The sidekick character.
Yeah.
What's her name? Quickly.
Nikki.
Right, Nikki. If you get gist of who she is, but you don't.
Actually, she looks quite different.
I think the last film was like
10 years.
10 years ago.
Yeah.
So,
I actually didn't recognize her when I first saw her. I had a sort of moment of, do I know this character? I feel as though I should know this character.
She does look different. Yeah, she does look a lot older. But Matt Damon looks a lot older.
Yeah, that's true. But I can still recognize Matt Damon.
But he's so big.
Yeah.
Do you remember watching The Martian?
I never saw it.
Oh, did you not?
No.
I thought The Martian, and in it, because he's been living on Mars for ages, I don't know if it's real, it might be CGI, but you see his body
being quite thin.
He's super, super slim.
Yeah, but I think that was the whole point of the film also, though, because, it was meant to match the...
I know, but what I'm saying, I know that. What I'm saying is that there's a big difference between that Matt Damon and the one we saw today, the buff Matt Damon.
He's also starting to go grey, his hair, I think. He's going to go a bit grey as well.
It's fine. Tommy Lee Jones looks exactly the same.
Yeah, but that's only because he doesn't look... He's from...
He's from what? 100 years ago?
No, he's reached the age where he's basically a high...
aging.
He is the...
Captain Picard.
Well, no, even Picard looks the age if you look.
Yeah, Picard looks older, but I think if you have two pictures of Picard, he looks older.
Yeah.
But in your mind, he's always looked like that.
Yeah, pretty much. He's...
He's Ian McKellen. Okay, I don't really have much to say about this film, to be honest. I think it's fine.
Alright.
The story is passable. It's not even that long, 123 minutes, just over 2 hours. We've seen, films have been 3 hours long.
Well, Superman's films, that was long.
Yeah. This is only 2 hours long, but I still felt like it could be shorter.
But I don't think it's allowed to actually be cut shorter. I think
I think they needed more story.
Maybe.
I don't mind it being 2 hours long, but there needed to be other things.
Well, what would you like to have, sort of substituted? I won't say added because it was...
Well, this is a film... Now, I don't remember, but in the first... My favourite Bourne film is still the first.
Identity?
Yeah.
Okay.
I still remember lines from the Bourne Identity, even though I've not seen it for ages.
Go on, let's see it.
Well, not exactly, but I'm paraphrasing.
Okay.
Where he's in the canteen with a girl, because he's lost his memory and they're on like...
Oh, yeah, I know what you're already talking about.
And he says... And she's like, oh, well, what's wrong with you? And then Matt Damon goes, I know that I remembered the license plate for 30 cars in the parking lot. I know the guy behind the counter can manage himself, and he's got a double-barrel shotgun, hidden underneath the bar. I know at this altitude I can sprint for 25 minutes before my hand starts to shake. Why would I know all of these things?
Yeah,
I do. Wow.
Yeah, that was a... Yeah. True, fair enough.
Yeah, I feel like that mystery in the Bourne Identity... Yeah, okay, I've got it. So the mystery in the Bourne Identity was more compelling than the mysteries in this film. The mystery in this film, we kind of already knew quite early on.
Okay, last question.
Okay.
To end it off.
There we go.
Out of... If you had to rank all the Bourne films thus far that you've seen, so 1, 2, 3, and 5, how would you rank them from best to worst?
Well, the problem is, I remember the first one. I remember the second one. I don't really remember what happened to the third one.
In Ultimatum? Well, there's one thing I really like about Ultimatum. Do you remember the ending to Supremacy, where he's talking to her on their phone? No, really? No. Okay, Jason Bourne is talking to that CIA agent on the phone, and they're like sort of asking how each other are.
Yeah.
You know, so it looks as though it's ended on a good note.
Right.
La di da.
Yeah.
Come Automatum, we see that exact same scene again.
Right.
But it's actually not like a happy scene. It's a really tense scene.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I don't remember this. So I think if you ask me to rank it, before I forget, I would go 1, 2 because I still have I've seen all of them, but I don't barely remember the first one.
Okay.
I'd say 1, 2, and then this one and the third one because I think I'll forget.
Okay.
Yeah. But go on, continue your thing about the tense.
Well, because she's currently being listened in, but because she's on in Ultimatum, she's currently what's the word I'm looking for? Being sort of observed.
Right.
Not just by Jason Bourne, but by someone else.
Right.
I think it's got a tracker in her phone. I can't remember quite correctly, and they're sort of talking to each other, and in a way, Jason Bourne's actually trying to help her out.
Okay.
And I just thought, wow, the scene between Supremacy, the feeling from Supremacy and Ultimatum at that scene change was like, well done.
Okay. So you like the Rashomon aspect of it?
Yeah.
Okay. Great.
Anyway, I think that concludes our review.
This is the shortest review we have ever done.
Oh, come on.
How long has it been?
About 26 minutes.
I am very happy with this.
Well, good for you.
Okay, well we'll have to do one for Suicide Squad. I think we'll both be more interested.
I guess. Who do you think is going to be your favorite character in Suicide Squad?
Well, who's your favorite character now from the trailer?
It's not obviously.
Go on.
Harley Quinn.
Yeah, it's Harley Quinn, isn't it? Of course it's Harley Quinn. Because she's the only one. Why do you like her? Because she looks a bit insane, doesn't she?
Well, the Joker looked insane as well, but
I feel like he's just an idiot. I'm still utterly unconvinced by it.
The only problem I have, I think, the problem with that Joker is his chrome teeth, his silver chrome teeth.
I don't know.
He's also not really. I think it's also the fact that he's sort of shirtless. The Joker that we both grew up with is the one that wears in purple and basically.
Well, I'm fine with it. I just don't like the design.
Really?
I don't like the green hair.
But really?
Yeah. Well, because there's been a few adverts now on the ground on the MCR. And they all sort of make sense. They all kind of look like they belong in the same world. Apart from the Joker, he looks a bit different.
But I think you say that, but at the same time, considering Joker's character and whatnot, I think, yeah, I can believe that he would be so much of an outcast.
Hold on. Well, I'm not saying that I don't believe it. I'm just saying he doesn't look like he fit in the world.
Sure.
I'm just saying his appearance doesn't seem to match the rest of the design.
Fair enough. Anyway.
Okay, we're going to let that go and we'll discuss it later.
Yep. Bye.